Good morning. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Shoreline moving east from the Toronto downtown core. I'm going to show this morning one of the newer condominium buildings that was built in the Queens Quay East neighborhood. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happened the last 8 or 9 years. 9 years ago, for years I've been rollerblading from the beach down across to High Park. Great stretch, great path. It's part of the Toronto trail system, and I really enjoyed that, especially going through the reservation area where they're rebuilding some of the floral and attracting some of the fauna back. Really enjoy that. It's a lot of fresh air. It's fairly quiet. Just really nice. Well, it was for a large part docklands in the area just from Queens Quay, where it goes up to Lakeshore and eastward. It was mainly docklands, abandoned industrial, a lot of it. And a few years ago, the City of Toronto and some developers committed to pouring in, I think the number I remember was about $5 billion was designated to go into developing the land immediately east of Yonge Street along the Queens Quay and going outwards towards there. That area is also south of St. Lawrence Market, and it's a really nice neighborhood. But there was nothing there 8 or 9 years ago. You had to go up to St. Lawrence Market, which is like a 5-10 minute walk at the most. Now, since then, there's been quite a few buildings built. When the Chorus went in, the Chorus building from Chorus Media, and they had the Sugar Beach they built right next to it, it made a big difference. It happens to be across, almost directly across, a grocery store. I think it's a Loblaws, and also one of the largest LCBO stores in Toronto, the Liquor Control Board. So there's things there to attract people, and of course you have the condominiums by the Harbour Castle Weston, or what used to be called the Harbour Castle Weston, that had the rotating platform for the restaurant up on top, which since then has been the gears have been closed on it, so it doesn't rotate anymore. But great view. It used to be called Lighthouse Restaurant. So that attracted some people, and the Intercontinental Hotel was a good place for celebrity athletes to stay when they were coming, and some other celebrities. A lot of interesting people would stay there. A bit of a jet set going on. So when they started developing these lands, it was obvious that they should develop these lands. I mean, it just made sense. They weren't being used. It was a great site right on the lake. So they started building these buildings. Chorus was one of the first to go in, and since then they've just been putting up condominiums, and the place has a little bit of a work in progress feel to it, and rightfully so. But if you can envision what it's going to look like in the next 5 years, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, that neighborhood is just going to get better and better and better in regards to having a community feel. Some of the units I've seen there overlooking the lake, like directly on the lake, are just fantastic. They're not cheap, but what you're getting is really nice, great view, great location in an area that there's a lot of money being poured into. They have the St. Lawrence Market nearby. You're along that Toronto trail, so you can go jogging, bicycling, anything like that. And it just has a really good atmosphere for professionals who work in the downtown core. But I noticed something else. When I was showing one of the units about a week and a half ago, the next I guess family going in to look at it was actually a family as opposed to a couple, and it really surprised me to see that. I wasn't expecting it. But apparently in that building there are realtors who are pushing it as a possible downsizing option for people that are retiring and want to kind of live the snowbird life a bit and be on the water. The units you can get anywhere from 1,200 to 1,800 square foot units in there. So it's good. And I'm talking specifically about 39 Queens Quay East. 29 Queens Quay East was built a year or two previous to that, and they did have some issues that I understand was some leakage in the garage or water situation that got fixed. And I'm not clear whether it was leaking from the ground or the pipes. That I don't know about. I just heard this through some of the staff at the building. So that apparently has been long dealt with. So building-wise, it looks to be a good building. The views in some of those units, I'm really impressed with. Beautiful view, unobstructed of the lake. And one of the things that buyers look for, or should look for when buying a condominium on the water or close to the water is their view going to be obstructed with the next development or future development? And so in this case, if it's right on the water, then it's you're not going to really have that view obstructed right in front of you, which is partly what you're paying for when you buy condominiums on or near the water. So anyway, just look for that community being developed further. It's a great community to be in because you're like a 10-minute walk from the office buildings. If you're working in any of the lower Bay Street or Yonge Street buildings, you're just a walk away. It's wonderful to be there, and you have the transit nearby. You're close to the ferries, close to shopping, entertainment. St. Lawrence Market is a great place to be, all along the Front Street stretch there. And St. Lawrence Market, as I've always said, has more, I feel, of a community atmosphere to it, and a good mix of families and professionals and just and cultural and ethnic mix. And I like that, having that kind of variety and diversity. I think just adds some flavor to it, and it allows you to actually get to know some of the local vendors, and that's one thing that really strikes me about St. Lawrence Market. You can actually build relationships with some of these boutique vendors. They really do provide quality service and product. Yeah, I think I spoke everything that I was planning to speak about that stretch of land. A couple of years ago, I did an analysis on the value of the lands heading eastward, and maybe I'll do a separate vlog about that. But in comparison to other international cities, when I did that analysis, it was significantly undervalued, significantly. And some developers got a hold of an article I had written that I had, I think, put up on LinkedIn, and it went around the world and hit some foreign investors and some developers, and pumped up the prices significantly in a couple of the neighborhoods that I had targeted in my article. So I was bang on with that in terms of identifying it as being a great value, and internationally people recognized it as being one of the higher return on their investments in terms of investing in the Toronto market as an investor. But there are also people that had come in that were selling out of other prime neighborhoods to move there, realizing the quality of their lifestyle was actually significantly increased with a lower price point on top of that. So it attracted one family. It attracted was a lawyer, and the spouse was a CEO of a technology company, and they had 2 little kids. So it was a perfect for them. So I'm going to talk more about that in another vlog. I think that some of you might be interested in that, and that's basically it for now. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you have any questions, leave them below, and I'll be happy to do another vlog about that. All right, ciao.